Hi BookTube, it's Peg. I am back at the History Shelf. Hope you've had a great week. Just want to say thank you for all the engagement I got on my last two videos, the Civil War book tag and my other readings, past and present, which I was just kind of going over the books I finished and books I'm reading right now. And we had a lot of fun comments, great recommendations, and in this video you're going to see this. As the title suggests, it's new books that have arrived at the History Shelf, and I'm excited to show you. They kind of relate to Civil War. Some of them relate to other aspects, religion, maybe a little bit of like social commentary and things like that. But let's start with what new books came in as a result of the Civil War book tag video that I did. Because one of the questions, the prompts for that tag was, what is your favorite one-volume study of the Civil War? And I said James McPherson's The Battle Cry of Freedom. And I had also mentioned that I'd read it so long ago that it was either lost in storage when I left home to join the Air Force, or who knows where. And I said, you know what, I could probably just pick up a copy for a few bucks, and I should have one here anyway. We had a little birdie in the room, overheard that, obviously, and Sugar Mama, as I like to call her.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And she got me The Battle Cry of Freedom, and I've encouraged her to read it as well. I started off by saying, would you be interested in reading this? Because coming from Ireland, that was one area of American history that she kind of, when she came into the public school system, I think that she kind of missed a lot of the history classes on the American Civil War. So really, I think her only introduction was the Ken Burns documentary. So she learned from that, and but there's so much more, and she said, I would be interested in reading it. And I was like, great. And she's like, but don't buy it because I already bought it for you. So thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
Yay. So I have a brand new copy of The Battle Cry of Freedom, and it's just as I remember it. I love how they have not changed the cover art at all or redesigned it. This is the same cover I remember back in the 80s, I think, when it came out. Yeah, 88. Came out in 88. This is Oxford University Press. So I'm excited to reread this. Such a fabulous writer. Our premier Civil War historian, I think. So I got that. Well, you know what? So that wasn't enough.
But wait, there's more.
But that's correct.
Monday.
There is more, because Miss Thing over here just can't, she can't settle for one thing only. So the next thing she got me, she decided, well, that volume wasn't enough. Let's get you the illustrated Battle Cry of Freedom. Nice
with
big
smell-o-vision.
Yes,
and blood spurts.
It comes with 3D glasses and stuff.
Gosh.
No, this is the Civil War era, and so this is a big, like, coffee table book size book here. Just beautiful. I mean, now I think this is definitely a condensed, an abridged version. It is an abridged version because there's
it's abridged by the author.
And it's abridged by the author, which is important. But just what a wonderful companion book to have with the actual, the full book, because we've got, artwork and newspaper clippings. Oh God, I was just losing myself in this when I opened the box up. Oh, there's a good old John Brown. Isn't this beautiful, you guys? I'm just really excited by this book. So essentially, I have, the complete Battle Cry of Freedom ensemble right here. I got the big old hardcover. I got the original. Again, thank you.
You're welcome, baby.
Yay! All right, so I'm going to put these on the floor. But wait, that wasn't all. That wasn't all.
They were not done yet.
They were not done yet.
They were not out of danger yet.
Yes, we're not out of danger because what else did I say in that Civil War book tag video? Well, oh wait, I'm starting to do my Andrew Cuomo impression.
Do it. Please do it. Please do it. Please.
So what does this mean? Okay. This means... Sorry. I'm not going to...
You should do the rest of it as Andrew Cuomo.
I can't.
Guys,
so
she
what
was
else?
cracking me.
All right, we're getting off track.
Quick story.
Quick story. My grandfather worked in the circus.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well... Sorry. He's great. Cuomo's been great. I've watched him so much on his daily briefings that I've picked up on the way he delivers his stories and how he talks and how he explains things. So in the Civil War book tag, I mentioned that I collect and read the Ralph Peters series of historical fiction, and I had showed you guys the 5 books I have, or the 4 or 5 books I have by Ralph Peters, Heller Richmond, The Valley of the Shadow, all that stuff. And I said that his most recent book I still need to get, and I was going to ask for it for my birthday, which is next month, which was Darkness at Chancellorsville. So what does this mean? Okay.
Mansplain it.
I'm going to mansplain it. So basically, she came through and got me Darkness at Chancellorsville. This is the last, so far, is the last Civil War fiction book that he has in the series. And this one is a novel of Stonewall Jackson's triumph and tragedy. So we know what this one is all about. Because at Chancellorsville, it was probably the South's greatest victory, most brilliant victory, just overrun the Union with this huge sweeping flank attack, surprise attack that just caught Union soldiers cooking outside their tents, just not even fully dressed, and it was just a rout. And that was Stonewall Jackson. So at the height of his, glory, he was riding between the lines, and it was a foggy night, and his own troops shot him. And they thought they were Union scouts or something like that. But yeah, so darkness, that's the darkness, is that they lost their, I think Lee was, he was quoted as saying that, because they had to amputate his arm, his left arm, and Lee said, Jackson has lost his left arm, but I have lost my right.
Oh.
It's true, that's what he said. And it always makes you wonder what would happen if Stonewall Jackson had served the entire war out, because he was a genius, by far way better than Lee. But don't get me started on that. So she got me the other book in the series, and that will go down on the shelf down below where I got all my other Ralph Peters books. So yeah, just a lot of great Civil War stuff. So another book I got, but I had to buy it used, and I had to search for it, and it wasn't exactly cheap, but I wanted it in hardcover, and I wanted it in pristine condition. In one of the prompts, I think the question was, what is the best book or biography you've read about Jefferson Davis? And, in the video I explained it, and I'm going to try to remember to link that video below in case you haven't seen the Civil War book tag video. I'll link that in the comments, but I asked for recommendations, I have slim volumes and volumes that look at one aspect of Jefferson Davis, but not a full life biography. So I put the call out. Tell me about what you think is the best biography on Davis. And my good friend on Twitter, Lawrence Westwood, pointed me in the right direction and said, I'm surprised you didn't know about William J. Cooper Jr.'s biography called Jefferson Davis, American. And I immediately went searching. One moment as I bring this whole stack over. I found a used copy for $22. This was $22. Look at this beautiful book. This is by William J. Cooper Jr. Deck-edged. I think I've ordered this one from Midtown Scholar Bookstore, which to me is like one of the best used academic bookstores out there. Every book they've sent me has just been high quality, just as they describe it. They ship it very conscientiously. They wrap it in a plastic bag, and then inside the actual box, so it's very protected. But this is a massive biography on Jefferson Davis. Let me just read you a quick synopsis from this. West Point graduate, Secretary of War under President Pierce, U.S. Senator from Mississippi. How was it that this statesman and patriot came to be President of the Confederacy, leading the struggle to destroy the United States? This is the question at the center of William Cooper's engrossing and authoritative biography of Jefferson Davis. Basing his account on the massive archival record left by Davis and his family and associates, Cooper delves not only into the events of Davis's public and personal life, but also into the ideas that shaped and compelled him. I had shown in the last video that I have his 2-volume set of The Rise and Fall of the Confederacy that Jefferson Davis wrote. And I'm curious to see, I'm sure that Cooper obviously pulled a lot of that, his political thought from those books. We see Davis as a devoted American, yet also as a wealthy plantation owner who believed slavery to be a moral and social good that could coexist with free labor in an undivided union. We see how his initially reluctant support of secession ended in his absolute commitment to the Confederacy and his identification of it with the legacy of liberty handed down by the Founding Fathers. We see the chaos that attended the formation of the Confederate government while the Civil War was being fought, and the ever-present tension between the commitment to states' rights and the need for centralized authority. We see Davis's increasingly autocratic behavior, his involvement in military decision-making, and his desperation to save the Confederacy even at the expense of slavery. And we see Davis in defeat, imprisoned for 2 years, then for the rest of his life, unrepentant about the South's attempt to break away, yet ultimately professing his faith in the restored Union. So, this is supposed to be the definitive work. I know there's another one out there, but I'm starting with William J. Cooper Jr. Thank you, Lawrence, for this wonderful suggestion. I'm so happy to have this book. I just decided I had, some credits, and I was like, I'll shell out $22-23 for a beautiful hardcover copy that will go with my Civil War book collection. So that is another fruit of my Civil War book tag videos that I completely just went on a run with some Civil War books. So the next book I picked up was used, and I found this by browsing the University of Press Kansas website shortly after I was looking at the Jefferson Davis bio. And I've always been intrigued by one of these guys, and again, I've always been really interested in the early formation of the Confederacy and why these men thought the way they did, because to me it's just incomprehensible. But I'm curious to understand, or at least try to know the reasoning behind why people did what they did. So this book is The Union That Shaped the Confederacy, Robert Toombs and Alexander H. Stephens by William C. Davis, who is another heavy hitter when it comes to Civil War historiography. He's one of the greats. In fact, he wrote, he's got a whole slew of books that he's written, but and I have several of them. I just can't remember which ones right now. You okay? All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We got allergies. Are you guys all dealing with allergies? They hit Martine pretty hard. Oh, poor thing.
The lungs.
It's in the lungs. Lungs aren't good. So here's a picture. So this is Toombs and this is Alexander Stephens. I've always thought, and this is not very kind of me, that Stephens looked like a little tiny woman, like in drag. It doesn't look. There's another picture where I'm like, are you sure this isn't a woman trying to pass as a man? And he was known to be very frail and slight. So I just think he wasn't health-wise. He wasn't a very healthy guy.
Allergies too.
What?
He had allergies too.
He had allergies too. Poor Alex
Poor
Stevens.
guy.
But he was the vice president of the Confederacy.
Oh well. Misguided guy.
Yeah. And I forgot what, I think Toombs was did he have a cabinet position? Anyway, well, it says that they were best friends. Let's see. One was a robust charmer, given to fits of passion. I'm guessing that was Robert Toombs. Certainly wasn't Alexandra Stevens. Sorry, it's Alexander.
You're such a nerd. You said that was like the funniest joke ever. And the rest of the room is like cracking up laughing, and I'm like, I have no idea.
I crack myself up, and
No, you're
sorry.
just a history nerd.
I'm a history nerd. Like that shirt I had on in those last two videos. I love that shirt. History nerd. That's me. So one was a robust charmer, given to fits of passion, whose physical appeal could captivate women as easily as his words cajoled colleagues. The other was a frail, melancholy man. Question mark? No, just kidding. Was a frail, melancholy man of quiet intellect, whose ailments drove him eventually to alcohol and drug addiction. Oh, that's sad.
Just take your Advar.
Oh God, yeah, take your Advar. I did not know that. I did not know that he became an addict. Okay, born into different social classes, they were as opposite as men could be. Yet these sons of Georgia, Robert Toombs and Alexander H. Stevens, became fast friends and together changed the course of the South. Let's see. With the style and authority that has made him one of our most popular historians of the Civil War, William C. Davis has written a biography of a friendship that captures the Confederacy in microcosm. He tells how Toombs and Stevens dominated the formation of the new nation and served as its vice president, and Secretary of State. That's what Toombs was, Secretary of State. After years of disillusionment, each abandoned participation in Southern politics and left to its own fate a Confederacy that would not dance to their tune. So then it goes on just to say that he kind of follows them from their early days, and that how both during the war developed a deep animosity for Jefferson Davis. That's the other thing about Jefferson Davis. He didn't get along with very many people, if at all. He was very abrasive. People found him overbearing, domineering, petulant. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that biography. Jeff Davis. Oh,
Do you think anybody called him Jeff, or was he
I think they called him Jeff.
unlikable?
No, I think they called him Jeff. I mean, people who were close to him, but there weren't many people
like
that were. His mom might have called him Jeff.
And then smacked him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or hey, you.
Listen, I'm pretty sure you were left on a doorstep.
That
took you in.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so this actually came out a while ago, so this is an older book, but I love having it. Gosh, when I say older, this is only 2001, but of course that's 19 years ago, so I guess that's. Oh God, where do the years go? 2001.
Who was saying that Lord of the Rings was what came out the year he was born or something?
Oh God, David Murphy. Thanks for making us all feel old.
Yeah, Dave. Thanks, man.
Okay. Let's see. One more Civil War book that kind of came from all this. Just get there. Okay, so the history nerd that I am, I was bored one night, couldn't find anything good to watch on YouTube, watched everything I needed to on BookTube, and I was browsing just historical little videos on YouTube. And I stumbled across the National Park Service's series of videos of the guided tours that they do on battle sites, like Civil War battle sites. So, yeah, I started watching one about Gettysburg, and then the park ranger was covering Little Round Top, and he eventually talked about Chamberlain and kind of clued people in on what actually happened with the movements as far as the swinging charge, the door that was supposed to go the flank attack, or he refused his flank. It's really well known in Civil War circles. Like it was a rarely used old, like something that would have been Napoleonic, where he was about to be surrounded on the other, his flank.
Yeah.
So he extended his line and had one part of it go perpendicular, like it was swinging on a hinge.
Nice, yeah.
And he told him to charge downhill, and he refused his flank to the Confederates. So anyway, I was watching those videos.
And Peggy has used that tactic in various video games, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that right now.
But you're very good at it, though.
Thank you. You know, I like strategy and tactics. I'm kind of a geek when it comes to that stuff. But then I realized I did not have this book, and I should, and it's the biography of Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. This is In the Hands of Providence, Joshua L. Chamberlain and the American Civil War, by Alice Raines Trulock. And this is from Chapel Hill Press. The University of North Carolina Press, yeah. Again, another fantastic press when it comes to Civil War books, history. And this is a nice big meaty book here, beautiful bibliography, notes. This weighs in at just the narrative alone is about, oh my goodness, almost 400 pages, and then you've got at least another 150 pages of notes, appendix, bibliography. So I'm happy to have it. He was another fascinating character. He went on to become the governor of Maine after the Civil War. He was president, I believe, at Bowdoin College. Yeah, just had to have it. Had to add it to my stack of my Civil War stuff. Woo! All right, guys, so we're at 21 minutes, and now I'm moving into other things that have arrived, if anyone is still interested out there. I don't know.
I'm interested. Keep going.
Woo! I had a lot to catch you up on. I've gotten lots of different magazines. We're going to save the magazines for another day. I got these 3 books. I bought them used. I had to hunt them down from different locations, but I saw these on John David's BookTube channel. He was going through some of his books that he has from, I think, University Presses. Yes. And these are from the Chicago, University of Chicago Press, I believe. Yes, University of Chicago Press. And I had read a book, or maybe 2. I think, well, at least one book I read by this author, and this goes into religion. And this is Martin E. Marty. This is volume 1 of Modern American Religion. The Irony of It All, 1893 to 1919. I got it in very good condition. Not sure where I might have ordered this one from. I know one of them was from Midtown Bookseller. This one has very detailed annotations in the side. I think corresponding note numbers, which is very interesting. I've never seen a book quite laid out like this. Yeah, you would go to your corresponding note in the back of the book to see what he says about it. But he wrote 3 volumes in this series. Let's see. So basically the series is covering the approach of religion in modern times. So it is Marty's contention that religion in 20th century America was essentially shaped by its encounter with modernity. And in this first volume, covering the years 1893 to 1919, he records and explores the diverse ways in which American religion embraced, rejected, or cautiously accepted the modern world, by aggressively advocating modernity or uneasily accommodating it, by self-consciously preserving older ways in the context of modernity, or by transforming traditions through a stance of anti-modernism, or finally by attempting to pass beyond or through the modern to a more basic religious stance unaffected by it. So that's what he covers in this first volume. So this by far is the slimmest volume of the 3. Then we have volume 2. This still has the Mylar on it, so I think that this came from a library, but it's still in very good condition. So I'll probably leave the Mylar on. It looks very nice. So this is volume 2. Get away from the glare. The Noise of Conflict, 1919 to 1941. Again, same type of annotated. So very, wide galleys on the side, and uh, there are photos. There are some illustrations and stuff and photos throughout. So that's volume 2, and then volume 3. And they're all nicely like 3 different colors. It's kind of nice. Modern American Religion, Volume 3, Under God, Indivisible, 1941. And he takes it up to 1960. So I'm not sure if he's making another one. I mean, maybe John would know that. I think he might have mentioned if there is a 4th one coming, or if this, I think he just ended it here. Maybe not. It just says in this 3rd volume of his acclaimed chronicle of faith in the 20th century, Marty presents the first authoritative account of American religious culture from the entry of the U.S. into World War II through the Eisenhower years. This is definitely more of a meaty read. But who knows? I might do a buddy read with one of these volumes with John. I think that might be in the future. So yeah, I got these 3 books. I might be taking a hiatus from buying books for a while. We shall see what comes in the coming weeks. And I might have more time for book reviews, everybody. So, gonna look on the bright side that I might have time to really just get a lot of things read, share reviews with you guys, and just do what I love doing. I love reading. I love writing. So this book is another one that is like religious in nature. I came to this, this author has a new book out, but then I looked at some of his older work, and this one looks far more interesting to me. This is called Coming Out Christian in the Roman World. How the Followers of Jesus Made a Place in Caesar's Empire. So it combines 2 topics I'm fairly into, which is, studying ancient history and also the early Christians. And it's a slim little volume. This is from Bloomsbury Academic, and I ordered this used off of Thrift Books, and it's in great condition. So sometimes you win, you roll the dice, and you get a good copy that's clean. It doesn't smell of cigarette smoke. So yeah, this book is maybe 150 pages, but I think this could be a very nice read. Another book I picked up from Thrift Books. John David on BookTube had also introduced me to, or told me I should check out this writer, Yaroslav Pelikan. And this is very along the lines of the other book. And this is called The Excellent Empire, The Fall of Rome and the Triumph of the Church. Again, Yaroslav Pelikan. Slim little volume. This came out 1987. Says here, renowned historian Yaroslav Pelikan details the reactions to the fall of Rome by the Church Fathers, who set the pattern for interpreting this momentous event for succeeding centuries, and examines Gibbon's interpretation in the light of the original Christian response. This book, writes Pelikan, is an effort to read Gibbon's history in the light of its history, on the basis of the most memorable of the responses to the decline and fall of the Roman Empire by its Christian contemporaries. That's right. Now I remember why John told me about this guy, because he has looked at and studied Gibbon's, the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, and it contextualizes it with the Christian, with the Christian, early Christians, and does an in-depth study, and I guess it's pretty heady stuff. So I saw this slim volume, and I thought this might be a good introduction for me before I try to take on any heavier works by this author that go into Gibbon in a deeper sense. Anyway, so I picked this one up. All right, so this is I have a lot of books to show you guys. 30 minutes in. I recently finished reading a book I told you about, The Villa of Delirium.
Isn't that where we live?
Yes, it is where we live. There's another one. It's in the French Riviera. This book right here, this is coming out later this summer. It's fascinating. And it was about this place that actually exists. It's a museum now, and it's called the Villa Keralos. And it's a replica of like a Greek nobleman's palace that this Frenchman, who was a Jew, and there's a reason why I say that, he had built that in the French Riviera, and I became fascinated by the real life characters. The family, the Reinachs, are in this novel. The narrator is a fictional character, but the people were real. And there's these three brothers, very erudite men, had written on the most arcane, topics of philosophy, art, music. They were brilliant. And I think I had mentioned one of them was one of the brothers. It was Joseph Reinach, I think. He was one of the biggest defenders in the Dreyfus affair, which was huge in France in the late 19th century. Well, the back of the book has a wonderful bibliographic essay where I found some resources. And, I love going down that rabbit hole. Like, I wanted to learn more about these people who had basically devoted their lives to learning in the pursuit of knowledge, beauty, and wisdom. And many of these titles because this was a work of translation, it was originally written in French, right? So a lot of the titles that he is pointing to in the bibliography are in French, but one of them was not. And so I went and looked it up, and I found a really good used copy. And the Reinachs feature in this book, so I'm going to learn some more about the family that were in this fictional novel. But they were real.
That's cool.
Yeah. The book is The Jews of the Republic, A Political History of State Jews in France from Gambetta to Vichy by Pierre Birnbaum. And this was put out by the Stanford Studies in Jewish History and Culture. So that's a series of books that they have put out, but this is the one I wanted because it has the Reinachs in here. When it arrived, I looked up in the index, and yes, they are listed in here. So it's definitely a academic work, but I think it's going to be fascinating. Like I said, that Villa of Delirium, that novel, just really took me down a rabbit hole of wanting to know more. In fact, I was viewing YouTube videos of this beautiful villa, which is right on the Mediterranean. Just gorgeous. And everything inside the villa is a replica of everything Greek that you can imagine. Marble and mosaics and these beautiful statues. So beautiful. Anyway, but he had built that because he loved Greek culture and learning and wisdom. And I just found these people very fascinating, the Reinachs. So this is a book I picked up. All right. I still have more. I don't know if you guys want more?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Okay.
Yes.
She sounds dejected.
Yes,
She's all like, yes.
Sorry, yes.
She wants to hear it, but do you want to see it?
Be waiting here a while. Yes.
Are you answering for our audience?
I hope so.
Okay. Just a few more. Okay, actually, a few more. Okay. Oh, I think this one David Murphy had read a while ago. I had requested it, and I think they were they gave me access to an e-copy. So I was like, okay, well, thanks. I'm not a good e-reader, guys, but I might have to really just learn how to do it, because in this time of pandemic, I'm not getting print copies as much as I used to, and that's okay. I'll get used to it.
Yeah, but I still think you should accept my offer.
What's your offer again?
To find a book that's...
Oh, right. Martine has a solution to my my allergy of reading electronically, which is to find a nice sized book that fits beautifully in my hand, hollow it out. Like we're escaping prison or something.
You, but,
yeah, hollow it out and putting a bar of soap in a file.
Yes.
We'll get out of here.
There's no getting out of here, baby.
There's no getting out of here live. Thank you, Jim Morrison. Yeah, hollowing it out, dropping in the e-reader, having the perfect dimensions, and then just, but, it's not going to smell the same, that's for sure. Any hoodle, to get back to what I was saying, this book arrived the other day, and I was like, oh, someone must have had my old request, and just said, hey, someone's around, we'll send this book off to her. So this is Ross Douthat. He's the New York Times columnist. The Decadent Society, How We Became the Victims of Our Own Success. I like some of his work. Not all, but I think he speaks sense, and this will be intriguing. I think David had read this. He might have even written a review of it for Open Letters. I'll just give you a brief synopsis here. Today, the Western world seems to be in crisis. Really? No kidding. But beneath our social media frenzy in reality television politics, the deeper reality is one of drift, repetition, and dead ends. The Decadent Society explains what happens when a rich and powerful society ceases advancing. How the combination of wealth and technological proficiency with economic stagnation, political stalemates, cultural exhaustion, and demographic decline creates a strange kind of, quote, sustainable decadence, end quote, a civilizational languor that it could endure for longer than we think. Well, this is pretty prescient. This was written way before the pandemic, obviously. So I'm interested to check this out. Thank you. This is from Avid Reader Press. So I'll check to see if David wrote a review on this. If not, I'll let you know what I think about it. Add this to my TBR. Fabulous. Oh, and then another one I got from Belknap Press, which is fabulous. And I think we've seen this one on Steve Donahue's channel. This is Dante's Bones, How a Poet Invented Italy, by Guy P. Raffa. Don't say it. That's a private joke. Dante, whose Divine Comedy gave the world its most vividly imagined story of the afterlife, endured an extraordinary afterlife of his own. Exiled in death as in life, the Florentine poet has hardly rested in peace over the centuries. Like a saint's relics, his bones have been stolen, recovered, reburied, exhumed, examined, and above all, worshipped. Actors in this graveyard history range from Lorenzo de' Medici, Michelangelo, and Pope Leo X, to the Franciscan friar who hid the bones, the stonemason who accidentally discovered them, and the opportunistic sculptor who accomplished what princes, popes, and politicians could not, delivering to Florence a precious relic of the native sun it had banished. So this book kind of follows that whole journey of Dante's Bones. This will be a fun read, I think. Again, I've said this many a time. I'll say it again to any new viewers out there. I recently have started a fresh passion, not a fresh passion, like a new era of learning that of like Italian Renaissance history. And it all started with my book review of the Borgias. Once I learned about the Borgias, I was like, oh, this is actually could be interesting. I always thought like Italian Renaissance stuff. It's just all about painting and art. And I wish I was more sophisticated and cultivated to be. I'm just not an art person. I like the Impressionists. I don't really like modern art or anything like that. And I like the artwork from the Renaissance, but when I think of the Renaissance, I just think of books just about art and museums, and I'm like, boring. I want to know about like battles and political intrigue. Well, when I read The Borgias by Paul Strathern, I was like, oh, this is fascinating. So there was so much more that I learned, and now I want to know more about Italy during that time. the people, the poets, the politicians, the soldiers, and this is a book that will go a long way to filling in.
Look up a book. Look up stuff on.
Martine's got a suggestion.
Caravaggio and.
Oh yeah, I like Caravaggio.
What's the woman who also painted in chiaroscuro? It was Gentilesse. Oh, what is her
Rossellini?
name? No,
Rossetti.
No.
I don't know what I'm talking
like
about. Christine
prosciutto.
Rossetti. She was a poet, I think.
Gran Torino. No, she did the head of John the Baptist being offered to Salome, and it was oh gosh, I can.
You know what? Come back in the comments and.
Yeah.
Okay, she's gonna.
They had very colorful lives that I think might draw you in.
Thank you. Martine has a great suggestion. So does this mean I have permission to buy a couple more books?
Because they have wonderful artwork.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, hopefully I can find something on the cheap. Might be doing some austerity measures in the future. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, folks. Okay. Last two books on this 40-minute epic of a new book video. Oh my God, you guys. If you're still with me, I love you. You are fantastic. I requested 2 titles from the University Press of Kentucky. They actually have some fascinating books, and one of these is I am interested in like the history of conservatism as far as up to a certain point. Not present day. This is Paving the Way for Reagan, The Influence of Conservative Media on U.S. Foreign Policy by Lawrence R. Jerdem. Then there's William F. Buckley. That's Martine's allergic. She's allergic to Reagan, Buckley, and there's Barry Goldwater. And there's Buckley again over here.
Did you know, fun fact, Dustin Hoffman and Hoff in Hook, that was his William F. Buckley impression.
Really?
Yeah. And the lady's name is Artisma.
Spell it out in the comments. I can't pronounce it. So this book, let me just give you. Well, these are mostly like blurbs on the back, but it's basically a study of conservative media. So I'm guessing they're going to talk about like National Review. They're going to talk about the different vehicles for the message. Some of the contents here I could just highlight for you, or you can take a look here. We have an erosion of credibility, Vietnam, the demoralization of the Cold War, China, an illusion of security, Panama Canal, Cold War relations. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. And here's some pictures of these guys. Sorry, I like watching old episodes of Firing Line. Yes, I know. Buckley. I love Robin Williams' impression. Oh my God, Robin Williams had the best impression of William F. Buckley. I don't know if you can find it anymore, but there's a skit where they do a Firing Line skit, and he does William F. Buckley to a T. It is hilarious. In the last book, you guys, I requested because I'm fascinated by this, and I just finished reading a book on Vietnam, which I will review for this channel. It'll be a short video because it's a very short book, but I
found it.
The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. We have JFK and de Gaulle. How America and France failed in Vietnam, 1961 to 1963. I'm always on the lookout for books that look at the very beginning of it all. Like, how did we end up going there? Well, it starts with JFK. It just does. In this case, there's a tie-in with de Gaulle, and I'm looking forward to checking this out. They don't seem to have any synopsis on the back, but yeah. It's about 200 pages, and I will report back to you guys. I've got to start putting together my, I've shown you already in a previous video the books I'm attacking for this month, which will probably carry over into June. I'm sure they will. But I'm lining up books that I will be reviewing You will see more reviews on this channel. I really want to make just single. I've made some in the past, and you guys have been great. And I hope that you have enjoyed my book reviews in the past. And so I will make just standalone videos just for books that I have definitely have some reactions on, and I plan on doing that for all of these books I'm going to be reading from now on. So let me know what you think of that idea. Let me know if you have any other ideas, things you'd like to see. I know you want to see bookshelf tours. Oh, I've been so bad, you guys. I've been bad.
You've had other things go on.
I've had a lot of things going on in life.
I mean, we all have.
Well, we all have, but I will get to bookshelf tours. Obviously, it is part and parcel of what we love about BookTube. But book reviews as well. So come here for history reactions to new releases, backlist favorites, books that I think you might just find interesting and unique. I plan on highlighting them here. And let me know if there's a certain book or time frame that you would like recommendations on, or if there's something I could even do a quick review for, something I've already read. I could easily pull that book off the shelf and give you guys a rundown. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see on this channel. We're really going to push the envelope and get a lot more. What's that?
Dancing dogs next on the history show.
We're gonna have dancing dogs in tutus, okay? Because that's how you really get people to hit.
Yeah.
What does that Steve say? Smash that like button. Smash that like button. No, you could just, subscribe and hang out with me. Anyway,
Yeah.
I think this is the longest video I've made.
Hey.
I am at 46 minutes. I know one of you out there is going to love it, and her name begins with a K, and it ends in an A. It's Kara. Kara.
Hi, Kara.
Let me say hi, Kara.
Hello.
I know you love these long videos, so this one's for you. Here's looking at you, kid.
Oh, God.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get going. I got a lot to read. I'll upload this and, shoot me a comment. Let me know what you think. Okay. Take care, BookTube. I hope you're all doing well.
Stay safe, guys.
There you go. We'll talk soon. All right. Bye.